Well, thanks for joining me again, Star Wars action figure fans, collectors, and action figure customizer fans. This is going to be a custom video, and I haven't done one for a long time, and I've been meaning to do one. So I have a few customs here that I've been doing, and some of these will be Star Wars customs, and I might have a few G.I. Joe ones to throw in as well. So without further ado, let me get to my first custom. Alright, welcome back. And my first custom here is, you may recognize him from the Star Wars BioWare upcoming game, Star Wars The Old Republic. This is Darth Malgus, and I was inspired by a couple of customizers in making this custom. One of them was the great Sith 30, and if you follow action figure customizers at all, you should know who Sith 30 is, and he does some amazing work. His figures are almost completely new creations, totally sculpted, and I did have the opportunity to interview him along with my co-host Tamer on Custom Action Figure News, and if you want to hear that interview, it's episode 16. You can go to customactionfigurenews.posterous.com, and episode 16 should be right there on the front page for you to click on and listen to. And I also want to just make a quick announcement on that. I did switch to posterous.com for the podcast, and there's a lot of great things that you can do on Posterous as opposed to Blogspot, and one of those is, if you have a smartphone, you can download it to your smartphone, so if you're even on a mobile device, you can listen to the show. Anyhow, let's get into my custom. This is my Darth Malgus, and I used the Rex the Doctor body as a base. I did get some armor plates that I put on here, a Vader belt I took from an old Vader, and the pauldron that I made here is part Star Wars, part G.I. Joe parts. These are actually the shoulder pads from a Pick Commando that I glued on to a Mace Windu shoulder armor. These are parts from different weapons that I just kind of cut up and altered and dremeled and glued them on. You can see he's got some gauntlets here with his gadgets and such. We don't really know what they are, I guess, but they're gadgets of some kind, communicators. And then down here on the shins are actually from a Darth Vader figure, an old Revenge of the Sith one, and I cut them off and I dremeled them out and just made them into armor plates, so it's a bit of work there. And also the head is from a couple of different places. The head is from a Rise of Cobra the mask, I'm sorry, the breather mask is from a Rise of Cobra Flash figure. Sorry, that light was a little bright there. And the back is from the Rex the Doctor, his little breather mask thingy. The head is the Rex the Doctor, and I just heavily painted and weathered him quite a lot. Let me try this so we can get, it's a little bright. And we put this up here and see if that helps. Oh yes, that's much better. Okay. Alright, sorry about that, folks. Much better lighting though, and you can see I even painted his eyes and everything. So, and the cape is from Darth Vader as well. So now the last thing I want to show you is that one of the ways that this was inspired by Sith 30 is that Sith 30's Malgus figure has actually some alternate heads, and since I had an extra Rex, I was able to make an alternate head for him, and this is the Hope cinematic trailer version of his head, where he's got the scars and his face armor is a little bit broken off there from when the clone trooper, who we don't even know what his name is, blows up the thermal detonator right in his face. So I was able to make an alternate head, which I think makes this custom even more awesome than it already was. And then this head is obviously from the Deceived trailer, which is the one where he lands with all the Sith Lords and they attack the Jedi Temple, and I think it's Zen Valor or Valor, I don't know how you say his name exactly, gets killed by Malgus at the end of that trailer. So anyhow, that's my first custom, Darth Malgus, and stay tuned for my next custom. Alrighty, bye-bye. Alright, welcome back once again, and this is my next custom figure. As you can see, I'm kind of on a Sith Lord kick, and I didn't get to do, I did have a custom Darth Scabbers figure, and I didn't get to do a review of him because I actually sold him through eBay to someone, and so I didn't get to do a video of him, but I do have some nice photos of him. This is a figure that I made for a contest on one of my absolute favorite websites, Imperial Shipyards, and if you listen to my podcast that I do with me and Tamer's podcast, I should say, Custom Action Figure News, you know that I'm partnered up with them, and they had, in the month of August, a Create a Sith Lord contest, so this was my entry. And this is a Harch Sith Lord, and if you don't know what the Harch are, if you've ever watched the episode Cat and Mouse on Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 2, close to the end, he was the, well, not he, there was a Harch character on there, which is basically like a man spider, and that was Admiral Trench. And he was basically like a man spider, and he had several arms. And I had this old Spider-Man figure, Toy Biz Spider-Man figure, that was Spider-Man mutated even worse into a spider-like man. So I got the arms, these arms, and the hands, obviously, and the head. And then the rest of this is the Revenge of the Sith Wookiee Warrior body, because the spider guys are really furry, so I had to use a Wookiee body. This is also an old Toy Biz from an old Toy Biz Wolverine figure. It was the Pirate Wolverine figure from long, long ago, and been waiting for a chance to use this pauldron here, so I cut that off and modified that. The cape and the skirt are handmade by me. There's just some black fabric and an elastic band that I'm planning on making him a belt. I just haven't found a part that will fit him quite yet, but I'll run into one. And actually the boots are from a Juggernaut figure, and I actually had to buy the Juggernaut, and it was a little sad to take the boots away from him because it's actually a nice figure, and I plan on buying another one if I see him, because I really like the figure, but I needed some boots, and since this guy's so huge, the only boots that I could really find that were big enough were from Juggernaut. So anyhow, let me just kind of go around him here. These are actually attached, these arms in the back here, and they're articulated so you can move them. And I added those on myself and deliberately made them so that they were articulated. I actually wanted to think about trying to put a joint in here, but you would see it and it would be too obvious. And I made him his own lightsaber as well. I left the Wookiee hands on so that he could actually hold something, but covered them with the spider hands. And then I painted all of his eyes and so forth and so on, so you can see him. And I'm very happy with this custom. I really, really like him. It's kind of a newer, getting more into customizing and building figures, and I'm actually trying to get into sculpting, and I hope to one day to be doing stuff like maybe Sithfire 30 does one day. But until then, I'm trying to get better at finding parts and building figures rather than just repainting them. I'm getting a little bored with repainting. And as you can tell, I don't really have too many clone customs, which I'm known for lately. Just a lot of different things. So, anyhow, that's the next custom, and stay tuned for one more. Alright, custom fans, welcome back one last time, and I have one last custom for you here, and this one is a Sith Lord that I'm working on. She's actually not quite finished yet. I plan on adding some details to her armor, some paint details. I just haven't quite decided what I want to do, but this is a custom Sith Lord as well. I actually am going to do another video with my G.I. Joe customs that I have been working on, and just make this one an all Sith video because I'm going to run long on my time. So anyhow, here she is, and basically it's kind of an easy custom. It was an old 25th anniversary Baroness body, and by the way, if you ever had this figure, she did not have the gap in her high heels. I actually cut that out. which eliminated her foot peg, but I think makes the figure look way better. And a Aayla Secura head, an old Revenge of the Sith, or no, Attack of the Clones Aayla Secura, I think it was. I cut that off and made it into a ball joint. And now, this is not specifically Darth Talon. This is, I planned on this making this like her sister. And this one is the more modest sister because she does not wear the bikini into battle. She's wearing a full body armor here. And so my name for her that I came up with was Darth Sunev. Darth Sunev, alright? And see if we can figure out where I got that from. But I did hand paint her tattoos on her Leku back here. And I hand painted her face and eyes. Let's see if we can try to see that. And so like I said, I'm going to try to incorporate some sort of a design here on her armor. And so forth and so on. And for right now, she's just got the Adigalia lightsaber, which I think I'm going to let her keep. And I also want to give her a cloak. I'm going to try to make a cloak for her, because I don't really have any, and I have plenty of that black fabric. So, anyhow, that's going to do it for now. This is my Star Wars Customs video, so stay tuned for my G.I. Joe Customs video. And until next time, may the Force be with you. Bye-bye.